Hi, this is Holly with Presence Point, and I saw a devotion this morning that just grabbed my attention. And really, it wasn't the words of the person who wrote the devotion, it was the words of Solomon from Proverbs 8, verses 1 and 2. Listen as wisdom calls out. Hear as understanding raises her voice. On the hilltop along the road, she takes her stand at the crossroads. She takes her stand at the crossroads. Wisdom takes her stand at the crossroads. And I stopped. It just literally, I had this wow moment of, that's exactly right. Every time we're someplace as a shepherd deciding to go this way or that way, deciding to do what's maybe kind of right and what's really right, deciding whether we tell the truth or we fudge a little bit, deciding whether we speak with integrity or compromise, that's the crossroads that we come to. And wisdom is right there calling out. And as I continue to look at Proverbs 8, beginning with verse 5, here's what it says. You simple people, use good judgment. You foolish people, show some understanding. Listen to me, for I have important things to tell you. Everything I say is right, for I speak the truth and detest every kind of deception. My advice is wholesome. There is nothing devious or crooked in it. My words are plain to anyone with understanding, clear to those with knowledge. Choose my instruction, wisdom says, rather than silver, and knowledge rather than pure gold. For wisdom is far more valuable than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with it. Nothing we desire can compare with wisdom, with God's wisdom that He offers us in His Word every day. I've had this really unique blessing, privilege, I'm not sure what to call it, but today, Doug and I walked through the Antiquities Museum in Cairo, Egypt. We saw King Tut's belongings, we saw gold and silver and mummies and you name it, and we saw anything Egyptian you can imagine. But it was interesting, especially when I read Proverbs 8 later this afternoon, when I was reminded that in that day, in those times 3,000 and 4,000 years ago, gold was not nearly as valuable as silver. They could mine it whenever they wanted to right in their homeland, so it really was of no big deal. But silver they had to import, silver they had to really work for, silver they had to pay much for. And so they lined these tombs and they lined these huge, boxes, like King Tut had 4 of them, with silver. It was outlaid in gold, but silver was everywhere. And the precious metals and the precious stones, the turquoise, it was just beautifully done. They were so careful to make sure they did everything just right after they died that one tour guide said they had their eyes not on the present, but they had their eyes on eternity. And that just stopped me in my tracks. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? Aren't we supposed to have our eyes on eternity? Wisdom would tell us to have our eyes on eternity, but not in the kind of box we're in, not in how much gold or armies are put around us to save us or protect us, not that way. But wisdom, as she cries out to us at every one of these crossroads, says, eternity, lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, not in a tomb, not in a big gold box, but in heaven. Where moth and dust doesn't destroy. And so as I sat today in front of these things I've seen in National Geographic and on Discovery Channel and even in history books as a child, I was taken right back to God's wisdom, right back to Proverbs 8. The Egyptians, the Americans today, everybody is at a crossroads. We come upon it as shepherds, but we also come upon it in an eternal process and an eternal value. So my encouragement to you today is exactly what Proverbs 8:1 says. Wow. Listen as wisdom calls out. Hear as understanding raises her voice. On that hilltop, she takes her stand at the crossroads. So I don't know where your crossroads are today, whether it's be truthful or, the white lie, which there is no such thing, whether it's speaking with integrity in what you have to say, whether it's making a decision that you know is right, but it's hard. Whether it's saying, wow, am I going to lay up treasures for me today or treasures for me in heaven? Am I going to do what God wants me to do, what the good shepherd wants me to do, the great shepherd wants me to do? or am I going to do something less than that? So I pray for you, I pray for me, that as wisdom calls out, we listen to her. That as wisdom calls out as shepherd parents and shepherd supervisors and shepherd CEOs and shepherd board members, that we do the right thing. That we, with integrity and with wisdom, make the decisions that the Good Shepherd has led us toward, sometimes our whole lives, sometimes in this moment. So I pray that that helps you live into your calling this week. I pray that you live deeply into what you're called to do as you lead the sheep around you. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I pray you have a great week. Take care.